got a YoraHome Silverback CNC. This is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So I've heard that these things are pretty easy to put together. So to make sure of that, I've recruited some help. You up to it, Jess?
Yeah, anytime. I love crafts.
Okay. Now, full disclosure up front, YoraHome did send me this so I could give my review of it. Jess, she's not getting anything out of this except, well, a little bit of time spent with Dad. And so we'll see. I'm more interested in her opinion of this. I am going to take the time to do an analysis of this and see how well it works, how easy it is put together. And I did tell them up front that I would be honest in my appraisal of it. And they were actually pretty okay with that. They didn't have a problem with honesty on this. They're pretty good at standing behind their equipment from what I've seen so far. One of the reasons I chose to go with YoraHome, or even chose to approach them, was because of the personability of the company. The customer support I've gotten from them from the first email has been above and beyond. I've sent emails to several companies, and YoraHome's response was the best I've got, and that's why I talked to them about this. And so we're going to tear into this and put this together. There's a lot of great instructional videos on the step-by-step how to put this together. I'm going to put a link in the description below for a good one of those. We're just going to show you putting this together. We may talk about some of the things that we noticed as we did it. But we're going to see, just evaluate how easy this is, and we'll bring you along for the ride. So, you ready to do this, Jess?
Yeah, let's start unboxing.
All right, let's do it. So the first thing we looked at was how well this thing was packaged. Oh my goodness, double boxed, really well styrofoam packed.
First we did an inventory to see if we had everything. It looked good.
And they gave us a pretty thorough checklist, so this was easy.
There are a lot of pieces, but we found them all.
Yeah, and then we had them all, so we decided to get to work. We started looking at were the instructions.
They were really specific. We looked at every page, but they made one mistake.
There were a couple little things, nothing that kept us from doing it. But as we got started, we took the parts for step one, which is to assemble the main frame. Got those all together, and that gave us the Y-axis rails and the the X-axis rails right there.
I think we need more space.
It is kind of cramped, so let's rearrange here a little bit and use all 4 foot of the table here.
That's better.
Now we got some room to work. Putting the frame together was pretty straightforward. Line everything up, make sure it's square, and then put screws in. I think it was 4 screws in each corner. Tighten those up, and we were ready to go. Didn't take too long, and was pretty straightforward. Next, it was assembly of the base table for the spoil board, and this is held together with T-nuts.
Each elbow had 2 T-nuts.
It's a really good idea because they rotate in. The downside of this is they've got to be perfectly lined up, and they go in a really certain way. And if you don't hold them just right, then they can rotate or fall out. And if they spin or fall out, then you've got to just do it again, which made this part a little bit frustrating, but overall it wasn't too bad.
I let my dad do all the work.
Well, you helped put the parts together. I just got the assembly to where you line them up just right. Be careful, because when you tighten those down, if they spin or rotate, then you got to go back and do them again. Next, we got to do the spoil boards.
They were so easy.
Yeah, it was pretty much just line them up, put the screws in, tighten them down. Really straightforward.
And Riker brought us sodas.
That's always nice. Take a little bit of soda break. Now we have to line up the mounts for the gantry. Make sure they're evenly spaced from both sides so it goes together well.
Dad has time to proofread the instructions, just to check and see if everything's good.
There were a couple of minor things, nothing that made it any harder. Then we put the gantry on. Again, just 4 screws in each side, line them up, tighten them down.
Super easy.
So now we're going to put the drag chain support brackets on. There were 3 of them, and pretty straightforward where they went. 2 on the x-axis, 1 on the x-axis and 2 on the y-axis.
Before we start on the z-axis, we should rotate it so you guys can see better.
This is one of those places where it was really nice to have 2 people. I was able to hold it in place while she put the screws in and tighten them down. I think this is a lot easier. It would have been possible with 1, but 2 people definitely made it easier. We almost had a 3rd person, but Rylan just wanted some video game advice. Then we put the bracket on for the spindle.
We noticed that in the Utah heat melted some of the off of the wire harness.
Yeah, so some of the labels came off. So we thought it was going to be a bigger problem than it was, but even with those gone, it didn't make much of a difference.
The harness only took a couple of screws, not too many.
Yep, and once we had those in place, it was just a couple of connecting of the wire clips. And that got all the wires together. With this wiring harness, it was a lot easier than wiring a whole machine because everything was ready to connect and in a big group.
Even with a couple of labels missing, it was pretty easy.
So we hooked the control box, or rather had Jess hook up the control box.
Spindle time.
Was the spindle pretty easy?
Yeah.
Just drop it in, couple screws, couple wires. Whole thing was done in 2.5 hours. So that makes this a really great afternoon project.
I think this would be a great project for other people to do with their dads. With the computer, I made the machine move.
So overall, Jess, was it something that you felt like you could have done on your own?
No, probably not.
There were a couple of tricky parts, weren't there?
Yeah.
But overall, was it fun?
Yeah. I think this was a great project to work on with my dad. Hey Dad, could you put a link in the description below if someone else wants their own?
Sure, great idea. I'll also put a link for some of the other YoraHome products in there too, so you can see what else they have to offer. I would like to thank YoraHome for sponsoring this video and helping us to have this great day together. And if you use the code CCC at checkout, YoraHome will give you an extra discount.
Hey, I just made this on Easel and think it looked pretty good. Should we test it? Let's do it.
So today, we put together a YoraHome Silverback CNC. This is a fantastic benchtop CNC that gave us an ability to, without too much trouble, we were able to put it together. Didn't take too long. And after we got it put together,
well, it all worked out. So, we made this, and my dad and I thought it was cute, so I created it because, well, we created it, so why can't it say hello?
this is the first thing that Silverback said was hello world. And so this is actually Jess's first carve. She's never designed anything for the CNC before. She's never carved anything with a CNC before. And she was able to do it rather quickly. So I look forward to seeing everything that she makes with this. If you want to see everything that either of us are going to make,
smash that like button.
And hit the subscribe button so you can see everything that the Maverick, the Silverback, or any of my other toys that are coming put out in the future. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye. Okay, I think that one was like the best.
Unscrew that clamp.